There will be videos that overlap. It's very necessary they do overlap at times because I get many questions sent to me by email that I've already answered in the videos. So somehow maybe I wasn't clear enough, and I'm trying to be as clear as possible so that we understand what's going on, especially to deal with the birth registration because everything began there. The statement that the parents filled out is the first document that really occurred in this journey. And without us understanding what that is and what it represents, it's going to be very difficult for people to comprehend how to escape from something that they may not even realize how they got into it, and how even their parents were a little disillusioned at the time when they were somewhat inducing the whole mechanism to begin. So we're going to read the definition of natural, because this is very key. There is what is natural and there is what is artificial. Everything to do with the legal system is an artifice. It's all make-believe. It's all fake. Nothing in the legal really ever operates in nature or what we see outside with what God created. These are all constructs put together by people who advocate the wickedness and the evil that has plagued the world. When we read natural, you'll understand how legalists actually use words that will usually just fly over the top of most people's heads. Natural, Black's Law, I'm reading out of the third. I'm sure it's in the fourth, and in many of the other basically editions. Natural. The juristic meaning of this term does not differ from the vernacular, except in the cases where it is used in opposition to the term legal. It's very key to remember there. There is a use of the word natural that in truth is opposite to the word legal. Doesn't work within legal, but then in legal, many times we'll use terms like natural person. And people have fought all the way to the tax departments of the government in courts trying to prove that as a natural person they didn't have to pay tax. Well, they were sadly mistaken, because they're a natural legally surnamed person. Yes, they need a natural name in a merger with a legal surname title that belongs to the state for the purposes of trade, commerce, and the operation of what the publicans collect the tax on. And when they merge those two together, all that becomes, in their version, is it's a natural legally, or a natural legal surnamed person. And remember, being that surname is a debtor, or where the tax gets collected from for the use of the name, is not in truth natural. And therefore it is susceptible to all the legal impositions of that system. So when people say that they're a natural person and they don't have to pay tax, they're wrong. They're absolutely incorrect, and they will never win, and no court case has ever happened in that system of the legal run by the lawyers that has ever supported that or allowed that to go through. How could you not be a debtor with a debtor name? That's an impossibility. So therefore, further on the description of this word, we're going to go back to the beginning. The juristic meaning of this term does not differ from the vernacular, except in the cases where it is used in opposition to the term legal. And then it means proceeding from or determined by physical causes or conditions, as distinguished from positive enactments of law or legal, not the law of God, or attributable to the nature of man rather than to the commands of law, or based upon moral rather than legal considerations or sanctions. So there are many things in the legal that absolutely violate the law of God. Yes, you can go out and kill as an officer of the law and kill someone by license. They're licensed to do that. You can join the army and go and kill your fellow man, whatever is part of the cause of a fictitious country that you've joined, and they will give you license to murder. It unfortunately is contrary to the truth of the Bible, and you are absolutely violating moral principles of God. Jesus is the Prince of Peace. He certainly would never have allowed any nation that was going to say that they were following his words to go and murder their fellow man. But of course, if you belong to the Roman Catholic Church or you belong to the Church of England, it was quite all right by those authorities to go out and kill you, even your fellow member of the same church in another country. And so they did this during World War I and World War II. How blasphemous is that to say they did that in the name of God or in the name of Jesus Christ, who is the Prince of Peace, who himself never brought harm to anybody. So therefore, we're definitely needing to understand the term natural versus the legal, because that's what occurs on the statement of birth record, which we've been explaining in previous videos. And hopefully you will understand why I'm using terms like private versus public. Why was the admonition to be ye separate, do not be unequally joined or incorporated with unbelievers or yoked? That's what those words meant. So why is it that all the direction of all the people very frustrated out there, and especially people who are, I believe, sincerely God-fearing people, how they now are so concerned and confused in the world that surrounds them now, and how they're feeling that somehow they're being attacked because they're good Christians or good moral people by a legal system that now is preaching contrary to their beliefs in the Bible. So why is that happening? Well, it's because they do not understand that they're unequally yoked with unbelievers.